It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
Oh boy. All right. SKOR North Twins Show. Hello, friends. I'm joining you from the car. We're about to go walk in a little Top Golf action for the baby brother-in-law before he leaves for college. But of course, the trade breaks in the way here. And yes, this is, I guess, kind of sponsored by Top Golf. But the breaking news here as I join you from my car, the Twins do indeed trade Jhoan Duran, their prize closer. He's headed to the Phillies. He's gone for two prospects. I believe it's Mika Bell is how you pronounce it. And Tyatt, Fernando Tyatt, the catching prospect there. So Bell graduated as a top 100 prospect not that long ago. He had an awesome debut. He kind of like hit rock bottom a year ago, but they are two consensus top 100 prospects, which was what the Twins were looking for. Bell kind of graduating, obviously, from that now. He's no longer considered like graduated from some list, but Duran goes to the Phillies, so they get their guy, and the Twins get two really good guys to stash, and Mabel's like ready. So I would even say would tie it like that's a guy you're stashing. It's catching prospects. So the Twins have gotten two catching prospects in 48 hours that are hard to find. They're hard to develop. They're hard to covet. They got two of them, and they got a pretty good starting pitcher back, at least one with upside. I guess I shouldn't say pretty good because we don't know much about Abel quite yet. And the Twins did trade one of the best closers in baseball for two guys. Seeing some of the comments here, I see Chase saying B- trade on the YouTube side. See Ken Boy saying this is a horrible trade. Sorry, Dex, for being here. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand when you trade one of the best closers in baseball for a couple prospects, you're probably a little underwhelmed by that and you're a little disappointed. I think this was probably one of the better returns you can get on the surface. Just that's my gut reaction. And I'm not saying that you can't sell Duran and not expect to get like you should not get like a big haul back. 'Cause you should. The Twins are in a position here where they're not winning games and they're not competing for the playoffs. So yes, Duran is an infinite better pitcher than these two guys right now, but if you're not close to competing for a playoff spot or winning a division, having an elite closer on your roster, I'm not saying it's pointless, but you're wasting it. And I think trying to get two guys that you can build around, one in a Bell that maybe even be like in your starting rotation immediately. I don't know what's left for him to accomplish in AAA at this point. Maybe he just does for procedural reasons, but you got a starting pitcher back. And Tyatt, I saw on the YouTube your side too. Yeah, he turns 19 this month. Like he's still 18 years old. And he's considered one of the better power hitting prospects in all of baseball. Our catching prospects, he's in low A, so like it's gonna take him a while. He's not gonna reach the majors for a couple years, but I think to get now two catching prospects for that is pretty big. So yeah, man. Like I understand Twins fans are probably a little bummed out that Duran's no longer there. Look, he's a exciting player. The entrance theme is going to be missed at Target Field, albeit sold out crowds are also pretty hard to come by here. So yeah, and also yeah, seeing this too as again, I just did a little preliminary research on this as I pulled over to the side here. It's the fourth and the sixth best prospects in the Philadelphia Phillies system going back to the Twins. So got two top six organizational prospects. We'll see how they stash in the Twins prospect system. You got to remember when I did like a week ago, I think, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago, of what you should be getting if you're selling at the deadline. Because the Twins' best pitching prospect before this acquirement of Abel was Desan Hill, who's an A-ball. So, Zebby Matthews, who got roughed up a little bit today. David Festa is on the injured list. What else? Andrew Morris hasn't really lived up to speed. Like, they don't have pitching prospects, high-end ones, that are ready to contribute. So they get one here from the Phillies and a Bell, who can probably do that. And yeah, Marco Raya, CJ saying in the YouTube side, like I'm so curious on Raya. I know like the stats from the 30,000 foot view are really ugly this season, but I think there's a really intriguing arm there too. But like it's not like he's knocking on the door. I wouldn't be surprised if he does get run like in September or even like out of the pen. You know, remember Duran was a starter too that they like converted into a reliever right away and he turned into one of the best relievers in baseball. Like I don't think that that's completely out of the question of that. That might be the case with Marco Raya. It's hard to develop starting pitching. So I think to get one that is pretty much plug and play, like I'm not saying you got to be like jumping for joy over it. I think I'd take that. Like we love to say here at SKOR, like if this was door A and then door B was you know nothing about what's behind it, right? So if you told me it's the fourth and sixth best prospects, one of them an exciting starting pitcher that might be able to step in your rotation right away, and then a nice high end catching prospect. I'm pretty tempted to just take the first offer there. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the wrong thing. But just trying to look at some of the trades here, like seeing this here from. Can I do this? I'm on my phone here, guys. So bear with me. Rolla says not really sure what the Twins are going to be what the Twins are thinking, but great move for Philly. So I mean, one comment there saying like, oh, okay, like not a big fan of that trade. I feel like just kind of looking at like Malachi here says, absolutely disgusting. Not even their top prospect. Look, Andrew Painter for a reliever is crazy. So the Twins probably did ask for that, but like getting that is insane. I mean, I know I threw out who was the top prospect in the Yankees system, like. I'm sure they asked the same thing, and they are probably like, "Hell no, we're not giving a top starting pitching prospect organizationally to them." So I kind of get it from that side of things, but yeah, this is a blow. I get it. You know, Duran has been awesome for the Twins in this closer role, but I just if you're not competing for division championships, it becomes expendable. Like be disappointed by the way, like be sad. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't feel how you feel because Duran was here for a bit. He helped close out the first playoff win in 20 plus years. I mean, think about that. Like Joe Nathan was probably the best closer of my lifetime as a Twins fan. Joe Nathan never successfully closed out a game, right? I mean, and did he get one in '04? He might have gotten one or '03 or '04, but he also coughed up a lot of leads. Duran was able to get one, and I think now I'm thinking about it, I think Nathan did maybe get one of those in '04. But yeah, like Duran was a big part of their postseason success a couple of years ago, and he's probably gonna help a Phillies team close out some playoff games now. But the Twins are sellers. Like that's clear. You know, you look at the what Ryan Jeffers was saying and Danny Coulomb was saying yesterday. They're waiting for the next bomb to drop. You know, like this is where we're at. And by the way, this is not even deadline day. Like the deadline's in what now, 22 hours, and we're probably gonna see more movement. Now does like Jacks go and today like I know John Morosi and MLB Network was really like, what the hell was like Rocco thinking, trying to like basically put him in a game that's out of reach. I guess you're showcasing him, but then Jax kind of stumbles again a little bit today. Did that hurt his trade value? It might have. But like, does Jax go now? I think the rentals like the Baiters and Coulombs and Lee Castros, I think they're still in line to probably get traded. But yeah, I mean this is where the Twins are at. Having to trade one of those guys to Brady's saying here on the YouTube side, gonna miss that entrance though. Super electric the one time I got to see it in person. Yeah, I mean in person it's sweet. They only really got to have that this year at the Cubs game and that Nelly concert a couple of Friday nights ago. Most of the crowds at Target Field really haven't been able to experience the full thing there. But relief pitchers always, do come with top 10 prospects. Remember, the Twins give up a haul to get Jorge Lopez too. So like relievers are hot commodities for teams that are trying to push forward to October and get a spot there. So a couple top six prospects in the organization. I again, I think I'm okay with that. I know some people might not be. I get why you're not. but taking a look at some of the YouTube comment section here, I think a lot of our fans are just estimating the value of relief pitchers, even if they got a closer. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Again, like I think this is probably the right cost. Like, there's trades that are thrown out there all the time, from the insiders and from reporters and writers, and some I know that don't do like their due diligence on what's going on in that organization. And I know sometimes people are like, God, can you these national writers just like ask the beat or ask some people, and like for sure, but the GMs and everyone else, they kind of have no. I was trying to get some digging. I did a little digging on what was today, Wednesday, on Monday, just like how fast trades come down. Because like on deadline day, it's wild, right? Like we're gonna see probably a flurry of movement tomorrow around the league, but like the Paddock trade, for example, that trade was probably in the works for like 12 to 24 hours. And then there's medicals, and then there's trying to figure out salary. It's not as simple, I think, as like a pick up a phone call and a trade is orchestrated in 5-10 minutes. Now, like tomorrow, I do think some of those, you know things where you might not be doing your medical due diligence, which I know the Twins have gotten burned by with some other trades, but some of these things come to fruition. Like even today, right? Like the Mariners were close to getting him, the Dodgers were close to getting him, and now he goes to the Phillies. Like, right? So at some point, those conversations like go to a spot where there's an impasse, and the Twins have to decide. Well, now we're moving on to the next best offer, right? And he goes to the Phillies. I'm sure also, knowing Falvey in the American League, like he didn't really want to see Duran again. So him sending to the National League, I think that plays a part of it. If he goes the AL, he certainly wasn't going to go to the Tigers, but like if he goes the AL, I'm sure it's a little bit of a higher cost that other teams probably aren't willing to do either. So there's that as well. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. Again, I'm just hanging out here in the parking lot, or actually more on the side of the road at Top Golf. So I just wanted to hop on here and give just a little bit of my assessment. Again, Duran going to the Philadelphia Phillies for two prospects, Michael Bell being the headliner there, and a catching prospect too. We'll also have a twin show tomorrow, just kind of on deadline day, recapping things, taking a look at what could happen to, and so we'll react to that as that happens. You can go check out. So I did an episode today on the whole Carlos Correa thing, which wow, I mean that was absolutely wild. So go check out that. Who doesn't sound like it's close to happening, but the fact that it got reported out there from Bob Nightingale that he would consider maybe going back to Houston, I think is crazy too. So you can check out that episode. That's in this feed. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe button here. I appreciate over 300 people here watching as I'm on the side of the road. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe button. It helps support the SKOR North Twins Show. And even though trades are happening and rosters being basically likely overhauled here in the next 24 hours, there's still things that I plan to do to learn more about the current roster, give you guys information on what players could be coming and what you should be maybe watching for in almost a meaningless last 2 months of baseball. I still think there's a lot of cool things that do happen that are worth following along with. So even though the trade deadline provides like some great views here and some great sub numbers, which is awesome. Like this is I seriously get kind of not emotional, but like super thankful that I'm in this position because you guys support the show. But there's going to be some other things too on the horizon that I think are going to be really fun for Twins fans to kind of attach themselves to for beyond this season. So that should be an exciting thing too. So appreciate you guys for hanging out. This has been awesome. My name is Declan Goff. Again, hit the like button, subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll be talking at you soon.